All right. Hey, everybody. This is mini episode 10 of Eat, Drink, Write, and Urban Fantasy Whiteboard. We are going to talk about symbolism in writing and specifically color symbolism, the
Yeah.
color yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into it. So basically, I wanted to kind of give an overview of what color symbolism is, because I think we're going to make a series out of this, and that'll be pretty fun.
I think so.
So in literature, the colors that show up in certain events can symbolize the meanings of those events.
Yeah.
There's color in everything.
Yeah. I mean, color actually can help a reader get a better understanding of the characters, the places, the events, and ideas. A good way to think about how to use color symbolism in your book is think of the Wizard of Oz. So it starts off in black and white. And that kind of represents the status of her life she's in stasis. It's uneventful, it's dull, it's common, it's dreary. And then when she gets to Oz, suddenly the whole story is in color. That's bright and exciting and magical and vivid. So color, that Wizard of Oz is a huge, a big way of looking at color symbolism and in writing.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about yellow.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about all the places that you see the color yellow in everyday life, like sunshine, school buses, sunflowers, reflective jackets for construction workers, that kind of thing. It's often seen as a cheery color. And part of the reason that I wanted to do this is this color specifically is because it can be so contradictory. You can have cheery yellow, and then you can have sickly yellow.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool. And so I really wanted to cover this color because I think there are so many opportunities for symbolism.
I agree. I agree.
So studies have shown that the color yellow helps to activate memory. It encourages communication, enhances vision, builds confidence, and stimulates the nervous system.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yellow to me, I think of lemons and clean and fresh. I guess because when I grew up, one of my chores was to dust the house, and we had to use lemon pledge. So I would spray the pledge on the furniture. So to me, lemon connotates, cleanness and freshness and happiness. Not that I was happy doing chores. I guess I must have been. But, that's what I think of when I think of yellow.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, and that's the point, is that you've got yellow in your life all over the place. And there's a way to bring that into your novels and use it as symbolism.
Okay.
So what does it mean in literature? It stands for freshness, happiness, positivity, clarity, energy, optimism, enlightenment, remembrance, intellect, honor, loyalty, and joy. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But typically, it stands for a light, happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as I was talking about a little bit earlier, it can also stand for caution. I mean, think of all the caution signs that you see, or the road signs are often in yellow for deer crossing and that.
Or the yellow light that tells you to slow down.
Yeah, exactly. It can also stand for sickness or cowardice, deceit, and jealousy. So I thought those are pretty cool.
That is interesting.
So why is it so conflicting? Well, think about how many different kinds of yellows there are, how many different shades. So you've got, the bright yellow, which is very attention grabbing for buses, and the yellow light for driving and that kind of thing. You've got dull yellows, you've got sickly yellows, where it's like you're just pale and sallow and all that. You've got the bruised yellow that comes out when your bruises are healing. And so that's not a great cheery yellow. That's like a sickly, gross, healing yellow.
Yeah, when I was researching this, I saw that yellow is often called the two-sided coin of colors.
Nice.
Because like you said, there's the happy connotations and there's the not so happy connotations.
I love that.
And and think of gold. I mean, gold is a form of yellow, and it denotes power and wealth. But then, that yellow-bellied person, that means cowardice.
Right.
But it can also be happiness. And honestly, yellow to me is a happy color.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think so too. I mean, I'm rewriting Louis and Delaney right now, and one of Delaney's aspects, I guess, is that she can see colors for people as she's using her magic.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And her own color is sunshine yellow or sunflower yellow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And she's a very happy person. Like, she's a very positive influence.
She is. Oh, I didn't even think of that. So, after you're published, they're going to be studying your novel in high schools, talking about the color symbolism.
And I don't know about that.
So I read an article that this is going to be kind of weird.
Okay.
I am also an artist, so I've got this artsy sense of looking at things.
Yeah.
And so when you take art classes in high school or whatever, you learn about the art wheel.
Yeah.
And there's colors all the way around the art wheel. So as a writer, this is going to sound so weird. As a writer, you can take the opposite colors on the color wheel to create tension. Okay, so what I mean is, like, you're talking about Delaney being yellow.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite color on the color wheel is purple. And as an artist, that bothers me. Whenever I see yellow and purple together, in my mind, it's brown and mushy and ugly. And so, I just think
it's fantastic, just because, and not knowing this myself, because I am not an artist and I don't stare at the color wheel and see what colors are opposite each other. But Louis's color is purple.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah. So that was really neat. So that's just like what popped into my head as you were talking about this color wheel, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's great.
They are opposites, which it works so well for your story because it can create tension because those colors don't go together.
Right.
And so it creates sparks. That I didn't realize that she was purple.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so interesting. But, let me ask you, I know in Louis and Delaney there's colors because of Delaney's capability, but in all of your other books, is there a color that you would associate with your characters?
I think just mentally. I don't know that I wrote it into the books, but I think Mac is orange. And I think
that's a thing. My artist geek is coming out.
And Aiden is definitely red. Yeah.
So when you have that, for all of us writers, because writers are creative people too, grab a color wheel. If you think of one of your characters as being red, look at what's on the opposite side of that color wheel. And you can create, I know this sounds so weird.
No, this is super cool. I actually, I would love to do an episode just on this color wheel idea because that's amazing.
As I was writing all this stuff down, and I'm like, wow, I'm going way outside the box on this one. But I think writers are artists. We are an artist with words, and I happen to also be an artist with other media as well. But words are media too, so I feel like we are all artists, and so. We're artists. We're recording several episodes at one time right now. Oh, I have to show you all my shirt. Look, Halloween.
Oh, it is super cute. It's got a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns on it with a tree and some bats. It's
bats, and it's white on the top and black on the bottom. It's got pockets, it's long sleeves, so I'm very excited about it. What?
It's got pockets. Sold.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, sold. I thought you said I was old. I'm like, why does pockets equate to old? I don't understand.
I mean, that too.
Well, yeah. Okay, so more about this. I was worried because I hadn't talked to you before we started this episode about
Yeah,
this
that's
color
super
wheel
cool. I
thing.
love the concept of the color wheel characters. I love it.
I am so glad. Okay, so y'all, pull out a color wheel. You can find it on the internet. It can help create tension. And if everybody, I think, that's why I asked you, because I know I do. Everybody, I think, connotates a color with their characters. And so think about that when you're writing, and you can create conflict. And I think even our readers unconsciously, we all learn in elementary school the basic, the primary colors and all, we learn colors. They mean things to us.
Right.
So I bet that every listener has a connotation of a color with their characters. And so think about, and you may have done this unconsciously like Taylor did. What is the bad guy? What is the arch nemesis? Is what is their color? And look at the color wheel and say, oh my God. And they could be even next to each other, which is another thing to use, that maybe they're, how we talked about how heroes and the bad guys are often
aligned,
very alike. And so, think about that either as well. So yellow, as we're talking about today, the opposite is purple. And you can bring this in with, just things can be purple, or things can be yellow, or,
right.
And then also, as I was researching the color yellow, there are cultural things to think about, which is interesting if you want to bring another culture into your book, which as fantasy and urban fantasy writers, sometimes we create cultures that don't exist in the real world. But like in Japan, yellow represents courage.
Oh.
In China, adult movies are referred to as yellow movies.
Oh.
In Russia, a colloquial expression for an insane asylum used to be yellow house.
That's so interesting.
Isn't it? The bright marigold yellow is associated with death in some areas of Mexico. Think of the Day of the Dead. There's a lot of yellow and bright colors. Those condemned to die during the Inquisition wore yellow as a sign of treason.
Interesting, yeah.
And a yellow patch was used to label Jews in the Middle Ages. And European Jews were forced to wear that yellow Star of David during the Nazi era.
Right.
So when you think about using color and symbolism in your book, do some research.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for one thing and the group that you're going for has a connotation like, it's associated with death, you might not want to use that particular color depending on who your audience is and what you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking about this whole color thing, and we'll have other mini episodes on other colors, but you can use color all the way through the book. And what I was thinking about was, it can portray character arc. So I don't know how many of you have seen The Joker. I am a huge comic book fan.
Oh, yeah.
And the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix in it,
mm-hmm.
I saw it once. I don't ever want to see it again, but it's worth seeing once.
I've never seen it.
He is an amazing actor. You should watch it. If you were going to take color to represent his character arc, he starts off as this normal human, and it's the descent into insanity. And you can use color in your descriptions and, all the way through your novel. You could use color to show that descent into insanity.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, not specifically with him, but even just the concept of the descent into insanity, using yellow would be good too, because it is so, the two-sided coin.
Yes, because it could start off as the yellow with happy and lemon and sunshine, and go into the yellow of sickness and betrayal and despair.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
Super
So,
cool.
in urban fantasy, a lot of times magic is the cat is looking at me through the window.
You got a visitor?
His eyes are this big, and he's looking at me. He's at the sink, because I'm outside on the deck, for those who aren't watching. Anyway, in urban fantasy, magic is often depicted with colors.
Yeah.
Stars are yellow. You can see, like in Harry Potter, think about how many spells are cast with the swirling dust that's gold or yellow.
Right, let alone the golden snitch,
Oh, the golden snitch. That's great. I didn't even think of that. The moon is yellow or gold, or, a white gold. So think of what you're trying to portray and use color to get that feel across.
Yeah.
You can describe items in the scene as being yellow. That's the most obvious way to do it. You can do weather, the sunshine glowed, yellow on the sidewalk or whatever.
Right.
You can describe feelings with color. You can use analogies, she felt as sick as whatever, the analogies to compare something to something of that color. You can bring color in so many different ways.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. I love the idea of color symbolism. I took AP Lit in high school, so we dissected, like you said, in high school, we dissected books for color symbolism.
Yeah.
One of the ones that stands out in my head the most is we read The Heart of Darkness, which is about a journey into the Congo, and it's about this man trying to find this other guy who's gone missing. And on this map, there is the color yellow, and it depicts the Congo. And it really is symbolizing, it's death, and it's sickly, and it's dull, and it, that kind of thing. And that's one of the examples that stands out the most in my mind. And it just gets across that idea that, he's journeying into this place that's bad for him. And so it's something that you can use in your novels. Again, I love the color yellow just because of how two-sided it is. And I think it's something that could be a lot of fun to play with.
I do. I love the idea of using yellow at the beginning to connotate, oh, this is happy and great and vibrant, and by the end it's the sickly betrayal. And I mean, how cool is that? So there is a lot that you can do in writing your book. Okay, so you finish your first draft, go back and edit it, and you can add in so much richness by using symbolism and color symbolism. Just do your research and see what you can find.
Yeah. I'm excited to do more colors.
Me too. That was cool. Yeah, yellow was fascinating. I didn't realize that there was so much to it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably find that for a lot of colors.
I think so too. It's very cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys. This was just a mini episode. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks, guys.